starry night that in movies, so live like with a blanket. Hi my loves, welcome back or welcome to a new video. So welcome to Bookmas day 1. Happy 1st of December, guys. We're gonna have so many fun videos. We have some book recs, we have reading vlogs, we have normal vlogs, we have sit down videos, and Bookmas, I wanted to combine both books and then obviously vlogs in one, because I do both lifestyle and wellness as well as books. Books is my predominant one, but obviously I love to incorporate wellness and lifestyle into everything. And obviously I decided to do Bookmas rather than Vlogmas because I predominantly do book content, but I will have a sprinkle of razzle dazzle of normal vlogs and a little bit of wellness integrated within our book content. And today is the first official day of December, so I am super excited for this first little video of Bookmas. I hope you guys are too. I have so many videos planned and filmed for you guys, and I just can't wait for our time together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys obviously couldn't guess from the title, in today's video for Bookmas number 1, we're going to be going over some winter recommendations. So we're going to be going over some holiday books as well as some romance, mystery and fantasy reads, where I just are going to show you guys books that I think are perfect to read within the winter time. And I can't wait. I have so many recs for you guys. I literally have 3 stacks right in front of me of books that I think are perfect for the winter time. And as well, obviously these books can be read within like January and February, as those also count as winter. But I'm really excited to go over some cozy winter recs. And I also have something for everybody that likes those genres. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get straight to it. And we're going to start off by talking about my holiday Christmas book. So first up, we have this huge stack of Christmas books. We're just going to go over them. I'm going to tell you if I've read them, if I know what they're about. Most of these Christmas books, I haven't not read them. I did get all of these books pretty much last year, but with me, I don't really read Christmas books during Christmas time or like right towards December, but I have been reading a couple of these throughout November, and you will see the videos for those, but obviously some of them should be out already by the time this video comes out. But we have a lot of recs when it comes to Christmas reads. There's also more that have come out this year, but obviously I only am going to show you guys the ones that I have. First up, we have Christmas Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. So this one, all I know is about a shopaholic. I think her grumpy ex is like invited and she's trying to do that, but also like be like the family member that's always preparing for Christmas. It's just like a chaotic Christmas book, and I didn't get to read it last year, but it's definitely a book that I want to read hopefully this year. And then next up we have my One Christmas Wish by D. Rose. This is a black romance. I'm not very appealed by the cover, but sometimes there's more that meets the eye. But this is a very short little novella. They're best friends and they basically rekindle their friendship, and yeah, Christmas, romance, cute, black romance, so perfect for my ladies that love black romance. And it's short and simple as well. Like for me, if I am going to be reading Christmas books, I would prefer like a short one like that over than like the Christmas Shopaholic, which is a bit longer. And then next up we have Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. So this book I did start last year, as you can tell by the tabs, but I didn't actually finish it. I ended up soft DNFing it, so I might try reading it this year. And yeah, all I know is it's about 2 people. She owns a farm, I'm guessing, and I think he volunteers to be her fake boyfriend, or she hires him to be her fake boyfriend, but they're also like enemies. And yeah, that's all I know. But it's a Christmas romance, but it's like the lead up to Christmas, and it's like still perfect for like the winter. I'm trying to get into the winter feels, so definitely cute. And I have heard good things about it, but I just didn't end up finishing it when I did read it last year because I was in a slump, and reading Christmas books was just not the one for me. But I still recommend it. I think it was definitely cozy when I was reading it. It's just that I wasn't in the right frame of mind to read it. Next up we have Snow King Catches His Snowflake by A.E. Valdez. Again, I'm not really a fan of the cartoon kind of like animated. This is very much like Sims animated, but I love the colours. all I know is that it's a black romance. It's a cute little novella as well. Hopefully I'm going to read that one, but might not because I have so many. Don't know if I'm actually going to get through them. And then next up we have The Holiday Switch by Tiff Marcello. So again, in this one, a cute little cover. I actually do like this one, even though I'm not one for a cartoon. This one, something about it's a little bit more cuter. I love the red, very Christmassy. This one, 2 different personality types. They switch their phones. They've been hiding things from each other, all their secrets, and bring their rivals together. Bit of mystery as well as romance. Seems very cute, so that's why I put it on my list, because it's a Christmas book. And then next up, another Christmas book is The Christmas Cupid. I actually read this in a vlog that will be coming out shortly and part of Bookmas. This one was super cute, definitely giving the Christmas vibes, but it's also like quite Valentine's Day like vibes as well. And they're basically like trapped with each other, trying to fight like feelings and the tension, and it's just super cute and perfect for like the Christmas time. Again, very thin. If I'm going to be reading a Christmas book, I need it to be thin, very easy to read. Next up we have Love in a Winter Wonderland by Abiola Bello. Again, a black romance. He owns a bookshop and he basically like needs her help, and they like help each other to save his bookshop, but they're kind of enemies to lovers as well. Next up we have Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Again, this is a book that I read recently in November. I really enjoyed this. It was actually really cozy, very Christmassy, not much to it. I think I gave it a 3 stars when I read it, but a bit like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, you read it for the nostalgia, for the Christmas vibes, and I felt it was just really cute. It's basically about this girl that has a criminal past, and she gets this job as a like window person because she bumps into this guy that basically like owns the shop, and she basically criticizes the like window display, and he basically hires her to do the windows display, and then obviously along the side they fall in love. And this one has a tall nerdy guy with bow ties, and I never thought I'd be attracted to a guy that has bow ties, but this book just hits in a way that you don't think it would. But it was just so good and so cozy, and again, very short. Next up we have A Holly Jolly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Serena Simone. This book, and I think another book that I have, actually we have A Merry Little Meet Cute, based off both from the same author. They have very 2 different aesthetics, but again, very given winter, very given Christmas. And these ones are not really Christmas books, I would say. They're just set in the Christmas like time and winter time, and just really fun. I think both of these are based off like TV shows or reality show. Okay, they're both in movies basically, and they're both plus size women that are in movies, so you know, this is definitely giving me the feels. I'm not skinny by any means, so I love a good little movie a little book. I haven't read these ones yet, but they're definitely on my list, and they're just super cute, and the different aesthetics as well. I think they're just so fun when 2 books have 2 different aesthetics, but again, still very much give Christmas, give much cozy. And yeah, these 2 I've heard great things about as well, so definitely recommend those. And next up we have Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. Again, another book by Tessa Bailey. I didn't realise she wrote this many Christmas books, but anyway, I have no idea what this book is about because I haven't read it, but I've heard that it's good, it's cozy, and also look at the cover, guys. The cover's so freaking cute. Like, what? So cute. The back as well, so cute. Fairy lights, snowflakes, and then people in love. But from what I'm seeing from the photo, they might have 2 different aesthetics. Okay, so it's basically 2 like different aesthetics. So it seems like the female main character, she's a little bit more like shy, quiet, but she's also the daughter of more music royalty, whereas the main character, he's the opposite. He loves the camera, different stuff like that, and they basically work together to get their mothers to do one last show because they were in the same group. And yeah, you probably guess what's going to happen in this book, but I've heard it's cozy, it looks cozy, perfect for Christmas and winter. So next up we have Only for the Holidays by Abiola Bello. This one again is another book, which is like Love in the Winter Wonderland, same author. This one, cute cover, it has those cartoons, but these ones I prefer the look of them. I think this is super cute. Again, these 2 look like people that have totally different aesthetics. He's like lumberjack, she's like smart city girl, so I'm guessing it's going to be like Grumpy X Sunshine plus city girl. It looks like they pretend to be dating, so it's fake dating, and it's also enemies to lovers. Ooh, this one I have not read this one, but just reading that, I'm super excited for that. And yeah, this looks really, really cute, so I might even read this myself, but definitely recommend it. You might even read it together if you want to. Next up, we have One Last Gift by Emily Stone. This one, I think, is a reality show. Okay, it's not. This is a brother's best friend one. Ooh. That's cute. The cover's really cute as well. I just love these colours for winter. Winter for me is blue and then Christmas is red. And like, that's just making me so happy. Guys, I just feel so giddy. Like, starting off with these Christmas books is making me so giddy. These books are giving Christmas. And I love that, even though I know probably half of these, or if not all of them, are probably cringy little romances, but they're perfect for Christmas. Like, why wouldn't you want something cringy for Christmas? I don't know about you. Last on this little Christmas list of books, we have All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. This book, I think this one's based off a reality show and there's contestants on the show. Okay, yes it is. And basically they start to get a little bit of tension between each other, a little bit of chemistry, and people start to ship them together, and they're trying to decide if like their feelings are like real and mutual, or is it just like the reality show and like being in the cabin and the Christmas feels that's like making them feel that way. And yeah, cover, guys, the cover's so cute. Winter Wonderland cabin vibes, and yeah, just super cute. Haven't read this one yet, but I might read it in this year, or if not next year, I don't know. Christmas books, you don't really need to rush to read them because it's not like there's going to really be series of them. You can literally just like take 100 years to read them if you want to, and because it's slightly a bit longer, it could take longer to read, but it seems really cute, very Christmassy. So, but those are all the books I have in terms of Christmas holiday books. Now we're going to move on to mystery thriller. I don't have many on this list. I only have 3 books to recommend you guys. But first up we have And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This book gives me winter vibes, just through and through. I don't know about you, but murder mystery kind of books where it's like set in like an older time, where it's like people at a dinner party or get invited somewhere and like certain things start happening, that very much gives me winter and Christmas times. As a UK girly, being brought up around like spectacles and like murder mysteries and Cluedo and stuff like that, this book just gives me that vibe. So this one's basically about a bunch of people that have been invited to stay on this island, but the hosts don't even show up. But what happens is stuff starts happening. Basically people start dying and they're trying to decide and find out who is the killer, and this book just takes you into twists and turns. There is something in this book that kind of links to it all. There's like a rhyme, and basically it's just really fun, really cozy, and gives you the mystery, and it's very short, and I think it's perfect for winter time if you want something that's very cozy, very easy to read, and a bit of a genre change. So I definitely recommend this, and I definitely recommend Agatha Christie in general. She has such a good writing style and her books are just so enjoyable and very fast paced to read, so definitely think this is very good for a winter recommendation. And then next up we have The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. She's just an author that she very much gives like winter. All her books feels like there's something that's happening either within winter or autumn time, with like the rain and like the snow descriptions and stuff like that. And she's just an author that's just very cozy, and despite what she's writing about, the books are very cozy, very fast paced, easy to read, and I think that's perfect for winter time. I don't know about you, but I want reads that are quite easy to read in winter time because I'm indoors and I want something very cozy but also easy at the same time. Even though we have more time to be indoors and we can actually have time to read the longer books, I prefer something still very fast paced, and The Housemaid series is just really, really good. I absolutely love the first book and the second book, which I both read, and yeah, definitely recommend it as a little mystery thriller to add to your list for winter. And then last but not least we have We Used to Live Here by Marcus Killower. This book I recently read in October, and this book, guys, was so good. Like, it was so good. This is more of a spooky vibe, so it has the mystery thriller but it has that horror element into it, so you can read this on Halloween. For me personally, I think it's perfect for winter time. Just the whole vibe and the description and the scenery definitely just gives me winter, and it's just really fun but very spooky. So if you want something that's a bit spooky that kind of reminds you of Halloween but you want something that's still very cozy and easy to read, I definitely recommend it. It is weird to say the least. Let's just say it leaves you with more questions than answers, but in a very fun way. And it's definitely an author I want to read more of because the books are very, very spooky, to say the least. And then next up, we're gonna go on to fantasy reads. So I have a bit of a list of books that I think will be perfect for winter time. I know fantasy is like perfect between like October, I would say, and like January. So these books are books that most of them I've actually read and are books that I think were really good for winter time. So first up, we have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This is part of a series. It's the first book in the series. The second book, Iron Flame, I've also read, and then the last book is coming out. Well, not the last book, the newest book will be coming out next year. But Fourth Wing is dragons, it's war, it's high stakes, it's got romance as a subplot, just really fun and simple to read. Despite the size of it, it is so fun, so fast paced. You're gonna fall in love with the characters and also the descriptions, because it's very much like Harry Potter vibes. I would definitely recommend it for wintertime reading, and as you have a little bit more time as you're indoors, or I don't know about you, but I love to be indoors when it's wintertime because it's cold and miserable usually, so I want to be inside with a candle and a blanket, and a fantasy is just a perfect like thing to read when you have all those things together. Like, it just makes it more complete, and the series is so good. Like, I love the series so much, so definitely recommend reading it if you haven't. And then next up, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This book, I don't know why, I think this book is winter. Despite the cover being very pink and everything, I think the vibes of this book definitely gives winter for me, just because the descriptions, I think there's like a few scenes where they're traveling during like snow time, and yeah, just really fun, really cozy. I love like the magical element to it, and obviously as a fantasy it has like the fairy tale element as well, which is really cozy, easy to read. And then next up, we have A Court of Thorns and Roses. So the ACOTAR series in general I love, and I think is perfect for winter, especially the fourth book, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight. That one's like set during like Christmas time, winter time, but just in general the whole vibe of this book is very much winter to me, and I just think it's just really fun to read. It's really cozy. You're gonna fall in love with the characters. Feyre, girl, I got you, Bill, I love you. Sarah J Maas, the way she writes as well is just really good. I love the characters that she makes, and yeah, it's just super fun, super cozy, and for me it just gives me winter, so that's why I put it in. And then next up, we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This book, absolutely yes for winter, absolutely yes. Just the whole vibes of this book feels for me very wintry. Some of the scenes and stuff like that when they're traveling and all that stuff really reminds me of like going out and camping and going out and doing like, I don't know, wintry like s'mores and stuff like that, even though that's nothing what this book is about. But it's super fun. It's basically about this girl who pretends to have powers. So there's the elites, and then there's the ordinaries. The elites basically rule the kingdom. They have these magical powers, and we meet Pei, and basically in her whole life she has been treated like crap. She basically pretends to be one of the elites so she doesn't get like killed or anything, because the ordinaries are basically being like abolished or like criticised, and people don't like them. She ends up saving this prince, Kai, and basically upon that she gets voted to attend the trials, and the trials are these games that basically whoever wins it out of the elites like get this special thing. They're basically like seen as the best, and obviously she gets nominated to go. She ends up going. Kai's there, and like a whole world of like enemies to lovers, and it's not really enemies to lovers. I don't know really what's about. I think they're more enemies to lovers, the fact that she's an ordinary and he's an elite, and obviously naturally they're seen as enemies, but these two are naturally flirty throughout the whole book. I'm obsessed with this book. It is winter vibes, definitely. So cozy to read at the same time. So YA, so there's no smut in it. So really enjoyed this book. Next up, we have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This book, I don't actually know what it's about. All I know is that it's a fantasy. The cover is definitely like a lot darker. Well, obviously it's called One Dark Window, but it seems very dark and scary, and I've heard great things about this book. People said it's just really unique and very like, it's one of those like historic fantasies, I would say. I don't know much to say about this book because I haven't read it, but I have heard great things, and it definitely for me gives like wintry vibes, especially with like the gold details. gold's like very wintry to me. So next up we have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This book I put it as winter just because the whole vibe of it. I feel like anything that, for me, it looks like it's set in wartime. I know it features like letters and stuff like that, but for me, this seems very cozy and very wintry. I don't know why I keep saying that, wintry, like these things have anything to do with winter. I've literally just like said, oh, this kind of gives the vibes of winter. But I just think it's going to be perfect to read in winter. That's what I mean. But I've heard great things about this. Saray, who is one of my favourite booktubers, she recommended this book. Like, she always recommends it in her videos. And yeah, really excited to read it. The cover, again, very cute. I feel like the Starry Night feels that I get from like the cover definitely reminds me of like winter. So definitely recommend this. And then last but not least, I definitely think this is winter vibes, and that is no other than Harry Potter. So if you know me, I am a Harry Potter girl through and through. That was the original introduction to fantasy for me. I haven't read them recently. I might do a reading of them, I'm not sure, just because I love the movies too much. I watch the movies, not read the books, but I do have the whole books, you know, for nostalgia and, you know, the beautiful colours. And this series, you know, it's just winter. It's just winter. And if you haven't ever heard of Harry Potter, you must be living under a rock. But obviously, I'm a UK girly. But Harry Potter is about a boy. He finds out he's a wizard. His parents were a wizard. And there's he who should not be named, who's after him, the most powerful wizard in the world. Harry is basically finding his way as a new wizard, finding out that he's a wizard. And, you know, he has his friends. He has Ron. He has Hermione. And it's all fun and games, and it gets dark and scary. Just the whole vibes of this series is winter. There are so many descriptions of like Christmas and winter times, and these movies and books are just my life when it comes to winter time. That's like the first thing I think about reading and watching when it comes to winter is the Harry Potter series. But if you haven't read them, definitely recommend reading them because they're really, really good. They're also YA, so they are good for like those that are under like 18. And yeah, that is my last of my fantasy reads. I don't really have many, as obviously this year's only been the main year that I've been indulging in fantasy. It's the last few months of last year, but I am really excited to maybe have more next year and obviously discover more. I have loads of fantasy books that are on my list for the next month, so those can be added to the list maybe next year. So now we're going to go on to romances. So we're going to talk about just some romances that I think will be perfect to read in winter. Either just the vibes or just like the coziness that I think you'll get from them. I have a list of books that I've read and then books that I haven't read, but they're just like all together in the genre of romance. So first up, we're going to start off with the book that I haven't read, and that is Ghosted by J.M. Dalhauer. And this one, all I know, I think this is a second chance romance, but it's also got like a mystery element to it, and I think it's also got pregnancy in this. And yeah, it's called Ghosted. The vibes of what I've heard about it is giving like winter to me just because of the coziness of it. So I don't know much about it, but all I know is like he's an actor and she's like not an actor, and she has a child. He basically finds out that he has a child and they haven't seen each other for a very long time. This book definitely reminds me of Forever My Girl. If you've read that book, I think it is a book actually. If you've watched the movie, that's how I found of it. It's very the vibe, like he's a country star and he basically like leaves his girlfriend at the altar, and he basically returns to the town after a death of a friend to find that he has a daughter that he never knew about. There's definitely vibes of like cozy season. The lights are down low, you have dimmable lights, the tree is on, you've got a candle, you have a cup of tea or hot chocolate, and you're just sitting and reading a book. And I just think this book's going to be emotional, and I've heard some great things about it, so I definitely recommend reading it if you haven't. And I am super excited to read this, so hopefully I'll be able to read it in the month of December, as it is high up on my list of books I do want to read. And then next up we have a book that I love, and that is no other than Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This book, I think this book will be perfect for winter, just from the coziness and the stuff that it talks about. Very much feels like it's the best time to read at winter. Summertime, I want the fun, fluffy little romances. Wintertime, I like to be sad. I'm not gonna lie, I want to be sad, but I also like to read books about love and the journey that one person takes along their life. Especially in this book, it features two characters who were once together. They have kids, but they got divorced because of something very traumatic, and basically them trying to deal with that. It has mentions of therapy, both the good parts of therapy, and someone that never believed in therapy and then finally had it, and then kind of perspective kind of change. You learn a lot about people, and that sometimes there's not someone to blame. I know when certain things happen you want to blame someone, but this book really shows you that sometimes there's no blame in all. Everyone has an equal part in it, even those that you might feel most sorry for. And just Yasmin and Josiah, this book was just so beautiful, just so raw, and for me it just will be perfect to read in winter. If you haven't read this book, I definitely recommend it. You would not be disappointed. And next up, another book that I haven't read is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Again, I don't know why about this book that for me feels like I would want to read it in winter. Just the whole cozy vibe of the cover for me gives winter, or at least gives cozy season, and for me cozy season is within autumn, but especially winter. And this, all I know is he's obviously got disability, and I think she's also got like a hidden disability, and a one night stand, unexpected pregnancy, and obviously he's trying to help her along her journey of being pregnant, and it's obviously them discovering being parents for the first time. And I've heard that this book is so freaking cute and cozy, which is why it's on the list. It's cute, it's cozy. Winter, cha-ching. So I haven't read that yet, but it's definitely on my list to read, and I've heard such great things about it. And next up, we got one of my babies. One of my babies, and you guys are very, very lucky to be able to witness this book and for me to show you guys, and that is no other than Unravel Me by Becca Mack. Out of all the books in the series, for me personally, this book I would probably put high up on the books to read in winter. Like, all of them are cozy, but this book has the ultimate amount of coziness for me. Just the moments between the two characters, Rosie and Adam, chef's kiss. But also the cover as well, for me is given pink Christmas, pink winter. And yeah, Adam has always wanted to find love. He hasn't had a very good experience with love. We have Rosie, she's a single mother, automatically smitten with each other, or they automatically have an attraction. They try to spend more time together, and you know, along the way a love forms and a love blossoms. And let's just say this is one of my all-time favourite books, and for me this book just feels the most coziest and perfect for winter. Even Consider Me, which is the first book, I think would be perfect for winter. Even all of them, but this especially I would say would be perfect for like winter and cozy season. And next up we have If He Had Been With Me by Laura Novin. This book is devastating. This book will shock you to your core. Not even shock you, this book will break you. It will break you, this book. But that doesn't mean it's not good. This book is about two people, and they used to be best friends, but they grow up, and basically, as you guys can guess, if he had been with me. Basically, you find out from the beginning what happens, and you find out from the beginning, and then the rest of the story is basically like a flashback of like the lead up, and it's basically them throughout a range of different ages to the present tense, which is the prologue of the book. And yeah, this book is just devastating. When I read it last year, this book destroyed my heart. I still have yet read the next book, which I'm planning to read. So if you're someone that needs to have your heart broken in winter, or you're heartbroken and you want to read something sappy, this one's for you. Next up, we have a book that's not necessarily like Christmassy or wintry, but it's a book that is magical. And for me, I love reading books that are magical during the winter time, and another love story is That Girl. This is by Ashley Poston. This features our main character Eileen. She is basically travelling to visit this cabin that her friend usually go to. She's a bit sad, and she basically gets lost and ends up in this town. She doesn't think anything of it until the next morning, where she walks around and she's like, these people seem very, 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 very familiar. And she basically finds out that she's basically in a town that's filled with all her favourite characters from a series by an author that recently died. And she's struggling with her life at the moment and knowing where she belongs. And it's like at the right moment she ends up in this town, and it's basically like given her the happiness that she needs. The way Ashley Poston talks about books, ultimate cozy vibes. I just felt so happy whilst reading this book. She also meets this guy when she first like comes into town, and he's very mysterious. She's kind of wondering like, who is he, like which character is he in the book, because he's not been in the books, and she's thinking that he might be a character that's in the last book that the author never got to finish. This just book makes me so happy to be a book lover, because some of the quotes in this book, like, it just, my heart just felt happy reading this. And for winter time, if I'm stuck indoors, I want to read books that are going to make me feel happy. So definitely recommend this if you haven't read it. And then next up we have my babes, and the book that I actually haven't read for ages, and that is Archer's Voice by Mida Sheldon. I don't know why, but for me this book gives me winter. Not just the cover because it's blue, but just the whole vibes of it is so cozy. We meet Archer. He's basically like this, like, not morally grey, but in the town he's very quiet, and he basically meets this girl. She's the main character, and she basically meets him. He kind of becomes like very nice to her, and she basically starts to like try to be friends with him, and they become friends, and you learn a lot about Archer and like everything he's been through. He's kind of like one of the misunderstood in the town. He's actually a gem, and this book's just like owned my heart. Like, I'm absolutely obsessed with this book, but it's definitely one of those books that was a movie, I would be watching it around this time of year, just because it just gives me the cozy feels that you want. So if you haven't read this, definitely recommend checking it out. It is so good, so fast paced for the size of it, but it's also just like very cozy, very beautiful to read. And next up, guys, I'm a bit embarrassed to show you this cover, but we have Sweatpants Seasons by Danielle Allen. So basically, this girl, she meets this guy, she actually really likes him, but she finds out he's part of this podcast of guys that basically are very misogynistic, and it's sweatpants season, but she sees him and he's wearing his sweatpants, and let's just say, you saw what I saw. And basically, this book is just cozy, really fun to read, really fast paced. It's a little book, really fun, cozy, just saying the same things over and over again, but that's really the gist of this book. If you want something that's smutty but it's also fun, that has a black characters that are beautiful, this book is for you. And then last but not least, we have a book that I would say is definitely winter vibes, or like Christmassy without the Christmas element, and that is no other than Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Something about this book, I don't know why. I think the coziness that I feel whilst reading this. I'm a movie girly when I'm not reading books. However, I would say I watch the most movies during winter time, because that's when I'm at home doing nothing. And Better Than the Movies just gives me all those like rom-com feels in a book, and I'm all for it. Love this book so much. I'm currently reading Nothing Like the Movies, and that book is just, you'll see my thoughts about that. But Better Than the Movies is my baby. So good. YA. It's basically about two people, Wes and Liz, and they are next door neighbours, and they're kind of like frenemies, and basically she has a crush on this guy that they used to kind of be friends with. He comes back into town, and she basically enlists Wes to help her, basically make him jealous, and on the way you know what happens. And it's just so fun to read, so like heartwarming to read, and just so cozy. Gives me the ultimate like cozy vibes, like with a blanket. So to top it off, the movie quotes at the start of each chapter, there's like movie quotes from like different favourite movies. So if that doesn't make you really excited to read it, I don't know what will. It's super good, super cozy, and perfect for winter. But that is it. Those are all the books, those are all the recommendations that I have for you guys. I feel like I have a lot. I think I have at least 30 that I've shown you guys, or at least 20. I know there's obviously tons more genres, so yeah, that is it in terms of all the recs that I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed Bookmas number 1. We obviously have a lot more like fun videos planned. Obviously I thought I would start off with this, as obviously it's the start of a new month, and I thought I would come out with all the recommendations for you guys if you guys were planning to go and do some Christmas shopping for you guys. And yeah, that is it. And if you have any other recommendations that you think give the vibe of winter, will be perfect to read in winter, definitely recommend them down below so I can see them, because I'm always needing to know new books to read. But yeah, that is it. I hope everyone's okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to this channel and you want to stick around for more of my Bookmas content, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. Follow my socials down below. And yeah, that is it. Stay blessed, everyone. And as I always say, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, my loves.